Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night feeling a strange pressure on your chest? Not just the usual weight of a bad dream, but something more, sinister. Something pressing down, getting closer, as if an invisible force were trying to reach you. For me, it started like that. A suffocating weight, a coldness spreading across my face, concentrated right around my mouth. It felt as though something was trying to pry my lips apart. I tried to convince myself it was just sleep paralysis, a trick of a tired mind. But when I got up the next morning and looked in the mirror, my blood ran cold. There, at the corner of my mouth, was a faint, dark smudge. It looked like the ghostly imprint of fingers, shadowy and cold, that had tried to force their way in while I slept. Panic started to set in. This wasn't just a dream. Something had touched me, driven by a mix of fear and morbid curiosity. I started digging through the history of the old house I was renting. Tucked away in a dusty box in the attic, I found a diary. It belonged to a man who lived here decades ago. As I turned the brittle, yellowed pages, my heart stopped. He described the exact same feeling, a pressure in the dead of night, a shadow trying to enter through his mouth. He wrote that it wanted to take over his body, to use him as a vessel. He called it the Whistler, because just before it came, he would hear a faint, high-pitched sound. I had heard that too. That night, sleep was impossible. I lay in bed, every nerve on high alert. The house was silent, but the silence itself felt heavy, expectant. I turned off the lights, and the darkness in the room seemed to thicken, to breathe. Then I heard it. Whisper. But it wasn't coming from a corner of the room, or from outside the window. It was coming from inside me. A low, guttural sound, like words trying to form in my own throat, but in a voice that wasn't mine. It was a chilling realization. The shadow wasn't just trying to get in anymore. A part of it was already there. I had to know what was happening to me when I was asleep. The next day, I bought a small camera and set it up facing my bed. I was terrified of what I might see, but the fear of not knowing was even worse. I forced myself to sleep, and when morning came, I nervously played back the recording. My hands trembled as I watched the sped-up footage. For hours, it was just me, tossing and turning. Then, around 3 in the morning, a shape began to form beside my bed. It was a tall, slender silhouette of pure darkness, featureless and faceless. It leaned over me, its head just inches from my own. Then, it bent down, its non-existent mouth hovering over mine, and it seemed to be blowing something inside. A dark, vaporous stream flowing from it into me. I watched in horror as my sleeping body convulsed slightly. With each breath it gave. The nights grew worse. One morning, I woke up with a scream trapped in my throat. I couldn't open my mouth. It felt like it was being held shut by powerful, invisible hands. A wave of sheer terror washed over me as I struggled against the unseen force. Then, the pressure changed. It felt like something was trying to force its way in, pushing against my sealed lips with incredible strength. The weight on my chest returned, heavier than ever, pinning me to the bed. I fought with everything I had, my muscles straining, until finally, my jaw clicked open with a painful pop. I gasped for air, the room spinning around me. The presence was gone, but the feeling of violation remained. I knew I couldn't handle this alone. I went to a doctor, desperate for a rational explanation. I described the pressure, the inability to breathe, the feeling of something being lodged in my throat. They ran every test they could think of. X-rays, hysteresis, scans of every kind. The results came back, and the doctors were baffled. Physically, I was fine, but one of the scans showed something they couldn't explain. A strange, dense pocket of unknown energy accumulated right in my pharynx, my throat. It was just sitting there. It was as if the shadow from the camera, that dark vapor, had begun to solidify inside me. That night, I knew a confrontation was coming. As I drifted into a state between waking and sleeping, the familiar paralysis took hold. But this time was different. It wasn't just a faceless shape in the dark. The shadow grew, taking on a more defined form beside my bed. It was tall and skeletal, wrapped in what looked like shifting darkness. It leaned down, and for the first time, it communicated clearly. its voice a chilling whisper that echoed not in my ears, but directly inside my mind. It said, "I need a voice, your voice. I will use it to return to this world." The entity's objective was clear. It wasn't just haunting me, it wanted to wear my body like a suit. This was its final attempt. The next night felt like the end of the world. The moment I fell asleep, the entity was there, no longer waiting or being subtle. It lunged. The pressure on my chest was crushing, and the air was pulled from my lungs. It felt like it was sucking the very soul out of me through my mouth. A powerful vacuum was pulling at my essence, drawing it out, and I could feel myself fading, my consciousness slipping away. I was losing the fight. My body was becoming an empty shell for it to inhabit. I gathered the last ounce of my will, a final spark of defiance against the overwhelming darkness. I don't know what happened in those final moments of the struggle. I don't know if I managed to expel the entity, or if it succeeded. All I know is that when I woke up, something was different. The pressure was gone, but so was a part of me. I feel ... holla. And sometimes, when I'm alone, in the quiet of the night, I open my mouth to speak, and I have to stop. Because for a split second, I'm not sure whose voice is about to come out. If this story sent a chill down your spine, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your support is what keeps these tailies from the shadows alive. And who knows, it might just be enough to keep a certain shadow from looking for a new voice to borrow tonight. Stay safe, and thanks for watching.